Most of us continue to grind our way through life. We are starting to become tired of all this striving and achieving because no matter what we do, our happiness is still nowhere in sight. We are even beginning to forget what happiness is like because happiness is rarely present and alive. Instead, it is turned into an idea, a memory, and therefore dead. Similar to love for many people, we don't even know if happiness is a real thing. It is only when we are suffering greatly that we start to ask the more profound questions of life, like, what is the meaning of life? What is the nature of existence? Who am I? How do I get what I want? What do I even want? Is there a God? What is the truth? You may have pondered these questions yourself, or you may not have. You may want these questions answered. You may not even consider this type of inquiry, but you can gain some knowledge to improve your life in some way. You may ask, why should I relinquish control of my life to give up a quest for knowledge? I thought I had a system, you might say, to keep my life in order while directing it in a certain way. And how can I ever learn anything new to improve or answer the questions, these perennial questions of life? But reflect on all the things you think you have done so far in your life. Did they really bring you lasting happiness? Or are they merely psychological fulfillment on a conceptual level? Or in other words, mental concepts to indicate the progress you made in life, like in the aspect of career, possessions, relationships, or whatever else you have measured yourself against others. In this game of life, all milestones can only bring you temporary satisfaction. All past progress is hollow, as they are just memories. You depend on validation from external sources constantly to sustain their fleeting reality. These ideas of success, happiness. Internally, you always feel the same, though. Your core is still empty despite all the achievements and pleasures you have tried to fill it up with, that emptiness. The spontaneous joy that was so pervasive in your childhood only occurs in brief moments when your life conditions have finally aligned with your expectations before they quickly diverge again when your conditions or expectations change. For those who have gotten far ahead in this game of life, you may begin to realize that it is fundamentally unwinnable and can only bring you more suffering the more you play. For those who are behind also suffer, except they are more likely to think that more success can solve their suffering. Nevertheless, most of you cannot give up this game because the rules of the game are the hierarchical system. In other words, are constantly being reinforced in your psyche by society throughout your life. Your sense of self is heavily derived from standing somewhere on this ladder. Being above certain others has become your primary meaning of your life. What you may not notice is that this ladder is actually more like a wheel, as no matter how much progress you think you have made, you are never there. Even if you have made it to the top, you are still bound by time and will eventually fail and fall, while constantly being threatened by another to surpass you. Thus, your position is never secure, and you're often in a state of unease as a result. You may think you need this pain to drive you to achieve more, and so you can finally reach permanent happiness. On the contrary, this pain not only takes the joy out of your life, but can also hinder your success by causing you to do the wrong thing. If you examine your life closely, you can see that the best things you achieved depended on many factors that were beyond your control. If you study the stories of the world's most successful people, even the ones who were considered to be mostly self-made, you can see that the most significant contributing factors to their successes were beyond their control, like someone gave them a shot or their product had the right timing and so on. Nothing can materialize without the universe's cooperation, without source cooperation. Going a step further, even all the things you think you did were not done by you. Your thoughts, actions, and whatever else you think you're doing are a product of a chemical process that's happening within your body. The same process that is sustaining your life right now without you doing a single thing. The most important event of your life was your birth, which you had absolutely no control over. We are not separate entities that are independent of our environment. We can only exist in the context of the whole. You may think that there are things you can control while the rest is beyond your control and is left up to luck, the universe, God, or whatever, source, whatever you want to call it. The reality is that this distinction between what is you and what is not you is just a mental concept. There are no individual wills. There is only a unitary process. All is source. There are no original ideas. There are no original personality constructs, ego. It all flows from the divine source of creation. Namaste, namaskaram.